Last Tuesday, a customer dropped off her Honda Accord for what 3 shops told her was an $1,800 brake job. The repair cost me 12 minutes and a $30 part. 3 ASE-certified mechanics, 3 misdiagnoses, the same noise. None of them looked where they should have looked. None of them ran the test you'll learn today. That's not a one-off, that's the model. Every weird noise your car makes has a name, a cause, and a cost. And the cost the shop quotes you depends almost entirely on whether you know which is which. Today, I'm decoding 10 car noises. Grinding, clunking, squealing, the rest. By the end, you'll know exactly what your car is trying to tell you. You'll know which fixes cost $20 and which fixes cost $2,000. You'll know which noises are warnings and which ones are about to kill someone. Number 10 is the noise every YouTube channel tells you to fix with WD-40. They're wrong. WD-40 will destroy your belt faster than the noise itself. Number 4 is a $475 mistake that 90% of mechanics misdiagnose. You'll learn the tight turn test that catches it for $26. And number one, killed a customer's mother last year. 3 months of warning, 1 quiet sound. Listen carefully, let's start. Quick disclaimer before we start, the tips and guides in this video are for educational purposes only. Every vehicle is different, so please use this information at your own risk. We are not responsible for any damage or injury that may occur. When in doubt, always consult a professional mechanic. Number 10. High-pitched squeal at startup. Sometimes when accelerating, worst on cold mornings, that's your serpentine belt slipping on a pulley. Rubber glazed, belt loose, or a pulley bearing dying. Every TikTok mechanic tells you the same fix. Spray it with WD-40. That's the trap. WD-40 is a friction reducer. Your belt needs friction. It has to grip the pulleys to spin your alternator, water pump, AC, power steering. Spray WD-40 and you get 30 seconds of silence. Then the belt slips harder, the rubber degrades. 6 weeks later, your alternator dies. Now you're looking at a $400 alternator plus a new belt. Pop the hood. Look at the belt. Cracks, missing ribs, shiny glaze, replace it. Gates or Continental brand. $30 at AutoZone. 5 bolts. 45 minutes. DIY, $30. Shop, $200. WD-40 hack, $400 in damage. Here's the kicker. Belt dressing the actual product, not WD-40, buys you 2 weeks. It's a Band-Aid, the belt is going. The next noise makes you check if your car is falling apart. Number 9. Clunking over bumps. Low speed, speed bumps, potholes, driveway transitions. Sounds like something is loose under the front of your car. 9 times out of 10, and this is documented across the industry, it's a sway bar end link, 2 small bolts on each side connecting your sway bar to the suspension. The rubber bushings inside the link wear out. The metal starts knocking against itself. That's your clunk. What the shop quotes you? $400, sometimes $600. They throw in complete suspension inspection labor. They quote shocks. They quote control arm bushings. They quote alignment after, even though end link replacement doesn't require alignment, what it actually costs. A pair of Moog sway bar end links, $60. 30 minutes per side in your driveway. 2 wrenches. DIY, $60. Shop, $300. You save $240. Here's the kicker. Buy the pair. If one side is gone, the other side is going. Save yourself a second weekend. Same suspension area, completely different noise, and a completely different scam. Number 8. High-pitched squeal when you press the brake pedal. Louder when you push harder. That's the brake pad wear indicator. A small metal tab embedded in the pad. When the friction material wears below 3/8 of an inch, the tab scrapes the rotor. The squeal is the engineer's gift to you. Act now before the rotors get destroyed. Shop wants you walking in immediately. $300 for pads, $500. If they convince you the rotors need machining too, what you should do first, look between the wheel spokes. If the pad material is thicker than a pencil width, the squealer might be early or new pads breaking in. Break-in squeal disappears in 50 to 100 miles. If the pads are genuinely worn, Akabono ceramic pads, $60 per axle, 2 hours in your driveway. DIY, $60. Shop, $250. You save $190. Here's the kicker. The squeal is the good warning. Ignore it long enough, and the squeal stops. The grinding starts. We'll get to that one and what it costs. Number 7. Rhythmic ticking under the hood. Tick speed matches engine RPM. Faster when you rev. Most likely cause low oil. Your valve train is starving. Lifters can't hold hydraulic pressure. Valves clatter against cam lobes. That's the tick. Shop, quote, valve train inspection, $300 to $500 for diagnostic labor alone. Then, they open the valve cover and call you with the bad news. What you do first, pop the hood. Pull the dipstick, wipe it, reinsert. Pull again. Below the crosshatch marks, you found it. Top off with the correct grade. Drive 10 minutes. Listen, tick gone? You just spent $4 on a quart of oil instead of $300 on diagnostic time. Tick still there? That's a real valve train problem. Don't drive long distances. Could be collapsed lifter or worn cam lobe. DIY check, $4. Diagnostic fee avoided, $300. Here's the kicker. The shop counts on you never opening the hood. Every owner should check oil monthly. Most don't. Number 6. Squeal or whine when you turn the steering wheel. Vanishes when wheels are straight. Worst at parking lot speed. That's your power steering pump. Fluid is low or the pump bearing is worn. Shop quote, $400 pump replacement, $600 if they include the hose. They never check fluid first because then there's nothing to bill. What you do, pop the hood. Find the power steering reservoir, small white plastic tank, power steering on the cap. Check level against the min line. Low? Top off with the manufacturer spec fluid. Your owner's manual lists the type. $8 a quart at AutoZone. Drive 5 minutes. Turn the wheel, lock to lock. Squeal gone? You're done. Limitation. Topping off once a month or more means you have a leak. Find it. Otherwise, you're feeding a doomed pump. DIY, $8. Shop $200 minimum for diagnostic and fill. Here's the kicker. EVs and newer cars with electric power steering, this doesn't apply. That squeal is something else. Probably a belt issue, which we covered in number 10. 4 noises, decoded, roughly $900 in mechanic bills avoided. But before we hit the ones that need to scare you, quick break. If that $30 sway bar fix just saved you a $300 mechanic bill, if the WD-40 warning saved your belt from killing itself, hit subscribe. The next noise we decode has caused more rear-end collisions than any other suspension failure. And the one we end on, number 1, killed a customer's mother last year. 3 months of warning sounds. She didn't listen. I owe it to her to make sure you do. Number 5. Constant humming or growling that scales with vehicle speed. Not engine RPM vehicle speed. Get on the highway, it gets louder. Slow down, it quiets. Louder when you change lanes or corner. That's a wheel bearing. The race inside is pitted. Metal grinding metal at every revolution. What the shop does, we need to replace both front bearings to be safe. That's a $1,600 quote. 2 bearings, 2 sides, same day. The truth, bearings fail one at a time, usually 2 to 3 years apart. You only need to replace the one that's failing if you know which one. Here's the test. Empty parking lot. Drive slow, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Swerve gently left, then right, then left. Pressure shifts side to side. The bad bearing gets louder when its side is loaded. Right swerve makes it louder. It's the left bearing because the right swerve loads the left wheel. Reverse for the other side. Timken or SKF. Bearing $80 to $150 per wheel, 4 hours in your driveway with basic tools. DIY $150. Shop will do both. Scam $1,600. You save $1,450. Limitation. If you can rock the wheel by hand at 12 and 6 o'clock with it off the ground, the bearing is at seizure stage. Don't drive highway speeds. Tow at home. Here's the kicker. That's the noise the shop overcharges you for. But the next one, that's the noise, even ASE-certified mechanics get wrong constantly. Number 4, clicking or popping, but only at sharp turns. Parking lots, U-turns. Tight corners at low speed. Drive straight, no click. Wide turn, no click. Only when the wheels are at full lock or close to it. That's a CV joint, constant velocity joint, the component that lets your axle bend and rotate at the same time. Specifically, the outer joint on the front axle. And here's what nobody tells you. The clicking isn't a bearing problem. The CV joint is dying because of one tiny thing your mechanic skipped at your last oil change. A torn CV boot. That little rubber accordion cover around the joint. $6 of rubber. Its only job, keep grease in, keep dirt out. The boot tore months ago, maybe a year. Grease leaked out. Dirt got in. Now the joint is starving. Now it's clicking. And in 30 days, it'll be grinding. Your mechanic looked at your oil, looked at your air filter, looked at your wipers. He did not look at the CV boots because he's not paid to. He's paid for what breaks, and what breaks pays the most. Here's the tight turn test. Run it tonight. Empty parking lot. Full lock left. Drive a slow circle. Click on every revolution means left CV. Reverse full lock, right, slow, circle. Click means right CV. Then crawl under the front. Find the axle. Look at the rubber boot covering the joint near the wheel. Torn, cracked, greasy mess everywhere? That's your answer. Caught now. $6 boot kit plus a tub of CV grease, $26 total. Repack the joint, clamp the new boot, 1 hour. Caught after grinding starts, $290 for an axle shaft replacement. Caught after the bearing race, contacts the knuckle bore, $475. That's an 18x cost spread depending on when you catch it. Same noise, same problem. 18 times the cost. Here's the kicker. At every oil change from here on out, ask the shop one question. Did you inspect my CV boots? Watch the pause, watch the answer. That pause tells you everything about every other inspection they claim to do. Number 3, low-pitched grinding or grating when you brake. Vibration through the pedal. Metallic scraping you can feel in your foot. That's the squeal phase you ignored. Now you're hearing metal on metal. The brake pad is gone. The metal backing plate is grinding directly into the rotor. Every rotation is destroying the rotor surface. What the shop quotes once you walk in. $700 minimum. $800 if you have rear grind too. They love this customer. They knew you'd come back. They counted on it. What you do right now, stop driving as soon as it's safe. Pull off, tow it the rest of the way if you have to. Brake failure is the next phase. The pedal sinks. The car doesn't stop. People die. The fix depends on what's left. Look at the rotor through the wheel spokes. Light grooves only. Akabono pads, $60. Drive home, replace pads, you're done. Deep gouge or ridge on the outer edge of the rotor. Rotors must be replaced, not machined replaced. New pads plus new rotors. DIY $180, shop $700. DIY $180, shop $700. You save $520. But that $520 was avoidable. The squeal at item 8 was the warning. You had 50,000 miles of warning built into the pad. You spent 0 of it on $60 pads. So now you're spending $520 you didn't need to. Here's the kicker. None of the next noises have a warning system. None squeal first. They clunk once, twice, 3 times, and then something breaks. That's what the next 2 noises do. Number 2, clunk over bumps and clunk when you turn the steering wheel, especially in the first second of turning when the car is cold. A double clunk, once at the bump, once when you crank the wheel. That's a strut mount, the bearing at the top of your strut that lets the strut rotate when you steer. When it fails, you get clunk from the suspension and clunk from the steering. 2 completely different scenarios. Same noise. This is the noise shops sell the merry-go-round on. You bring the car in. They diagnose loose suspension. Quote $1,200. Replace your shocks. Clunk continues. You come back. They quote $800 more for sway bar links. Clunk continues. You come back a third time. They suggest replacing the entire strut assembly, $1,800 per side, $3,600 total. In every shop visit, every misdiagnosis charged a diagnostic fee of $122 to $179. That's the model. The clunk doesn't go away because they're not replacing the part making the clunk. Confusion is the product they sell. The test takes 90 seconds. Wheel off the ground. Push down hard on the strut top with one hand. Have a helper turn the steering wheel back and forth. Feel for binding. Listen for clunking from the strut tower. That's the mount. Moog strut mounts, $130 a pair. 3 hours in your driveway. Limitation. If the spring is integrated into the strut assembly, you need a spring compressor to do this safely. AutoZone rents one free with a refundable deposit. A compressed coil spring released wrong sends you to the hospital. Do not skip the compressor. Do not improvise it. DIY $130. Shop merry-go-round $3,600. You save $3,470. Now hear this. The same model, the merry-go-round, runs on your serpentine belt. Belt squeals. Shop replaces belt. $200. Squeal returns in 3 weeks. Shop replaces belt again. $200. Returns. Third visit, they finally check the tensioner pulley. The bearing has been bad the whole time. They charge you $400 to replace the tensioner that they should have caught in visit 1. The tensioner pulley test. With engine off and cold, remove the belt. Spin each pulley by hand. Rough, gritty, or noisy. That's your culprit. $40 tensioner. Not 3 belts and a tensioner. Here's the kicker. Both of these noises share one feature. They don't get worse linearly. They escalate in jumps. Today, clunk. 6 weeks, catastrophic. The diagnostic window is short. The cost window is brutal. But neither of these can kill you. Stranded? Sure. Inconvenient? Sure. The next noise, number 1, that one can kill you. And it's the noise you'd never call a mechanic about. Number 1, a single soft clunk when you drive over a small bump at low speed. That's it. No grinding, no screeching, no squeal warning, just one quiet thunk over and over for weeks, maybe months. Drivers ignore it because it doesn't sound like anything is wrong. That's a ball joint failing. The ball joint is the pivot point between your control arm and your steering knuckle. It's how your wheel can both steer and move up and down over bumps at the same time. If it fails, when it fails, the entire wheel folds underneath the car. Brake caliper, rotor, tire, all of it. The car drops onto the control arm. Steering is gone. Sometimes at 5 miles per hour in a parking lot. Sometimes at 65 on the highway. That's what happened to my customer's mother. The clunk had been there for 3 months. Her son told her to get it checked. She didn't. The joint failed exiting a highway on-ramp. The wheel collapsed. The car went into the median. She didn't make it home that night. Here's the test. Front wheel off the ground, grip the tire at 12 and 6 o'clock. Try to rock it forward and back. Any play means the ball joint is gone. Not a lot, any. Replace it that week. Moog, ball joint, $50. Ball joint press tool, free, at AutoZone, with deposit 2 hours in the driveway. That's the cost of preventing what happened to her. Every noise on this list costs you money. This one costs you your life. Listen for the quiet clunk. 10 noises decoded. Roughly $5,000 in mechanic bills you can now avoid. 1 life you might save. Type the sound your car is making right now in the comments. What speed it happens. What triggers it. I read every comment. I'll tell you which of the 10 it is, or if it's something else entirely. If decoding even one of these saves you a trip to the shop, hit subscribe. I'm exposing one car care scam every week. Then click the next video, 21 cheap car fixes mechanics pray you never learn. Number 7 on that list is the $3 part that replaces a $600 repair on 80% of American cars built since 2015. You'll never look at your local shop the same way again. Listen to your car tomorrow. You speak its language now. Every script, edit, and voiceover on this channel is crafted with real human expertise, not mass-produced content. If this helped you, subscribe for more.